Is this a hidden allusion to Taeil? JUNGKOOK premiered after his enlistment not only with his golden voice, but also with a professional mic that was too flashy to be considered a coincidence. As the world awaits BTS's reunion, why does JUNGKOOK's broadcast atmosphere feel more personal and seem to keep a hidden message? Is this JUNGKOOK's subtle way of showing who is more ready to return to the stage, or more than that, a gesture to someone who isn't called, but feels present in silence, a subtle illusion from JUNGKOOK? His professional mic shines brighter than Taeil's presence. What happened? Is all this really just about the microphone? Or is there something bigger that JUNGKOOK is trying to convey through a short but meaningful live? When JUNGKOOK finally appeared in public in mid-July 2025 in an Instagram live broadcast after completing his military service, many soldiers were moved. He was not alone in his devotion. He was with Jimin. And it's not just about the return of a K-pop star to the entertainment world. It's about how JUNGKOOK chose to return, with suspicious poise, with near-perfect sound production quality, and most of all eye-catching, with a professional mic that was so shiny, it seemed to be the main star of the night. Is this just the usual preparation of a professional idol? Or is JUNGKOOK sending a signal to someone, to the public? Maybe even to his own groupmates. Naturally, the public knows that BTS has announced that they will have a full reunion in the spring of 2026. A new album and world tour have been confirmed. But the question is, are all the members really ready? And are all still standing on one and the same frequency? Or are some starting to take each other's paths quietly? JUNGKOOK in his live broadcast mentioned Justin Bieber's song, Changes, a song that is much talked about for its emotional overtones and isolation. Does this spontaneous song selection reflect what JUNGKOOK is feeling? A change that he meant not only in life, but also in the dynamics of relationships between members. Even more disturbing is the fact that in the midst of all of this, Taeil becomes an invisible but palpable shadow. How so? Because too many fans realized one thing. There was not a single mention of V's name, no explicit interaction, no hint that JUNGKOOK was missing or greeting Taeil the way he used to. Could all this be just a coincidence? Or actually, this is a very deliberate form of subtle innuendo. JUNGKOOK's mic that night wasn't just a tool for talking, it was a symbol. The symbol that it comes ready. Symbol that he prepared everything to the maximum, even the smallest detail of audio quality that is the class of professional singers of the world. But this is precisely where the paradox arises. When JUNGKOOK's equipment is so shining, why does Taeil's figure seem to be dimming? Is this a deliberate form of contrast? ARMY began to question. Does JUNGKOOK want to show that he is better prepared for the new era of BTS than Taeil? Does this difference in quality illustrate the dedication gap? Or even more tragic, is there a sense of disappointment that did not have time to speak? The short-lived live was in the spotlight of the world, not because of its length, but because of the intensity of its emotions. JUNGKOOK didn't say much, but his expressions spoke louder than words. She smiled, yes, a beautiful smile, but behind that, there was a look in her eyes that couldn't be hidden from the camera. Does he miss? Is he angry? Or is he holding back something too personal to share with the public? To be sure, the public knows that JUNGKOOK is not the type to let things look perfect for no reason. He's a perfectionist. So when his mic is too flashy and his live sound quality feels like a studio recording, it's natural for the public to ask, who exactly does he want to amaze? And of all the names that can be called, why is Taeil the only name that seems to be deliberately untouched? Is this a silent form of communication? Communicating on a frequency that only two people who were once very close understand, but now feel distant. The fact that JUNGKOOK did not mention Taeil, did not say hello, did not even imply anything about his colleague on the broadcast, made some ARMY convinced. Something was happening. Especially if you remember their last live some time ago, when Taeil and JUNGKOOK appeared together for 11 minutes, but made many fans feel that something was out of tune. JUNGKOOK looks quieter than usual. Taeil takes too much control. And the broadcast ended abruptly, without a clear goodbye. From that moment on, speculation began to grow, and live JUNGKOOK, who is now just dousing gasoline into the fire that has not been extinguished. Plus, when the site near stream, DUS highlighting that the 2025 trend is towards improving audio quality to achieve maximum engagement, JUNGKOOK immediately became the most obvious example. But ironically, the quality of that mic makes one thing even more obvious, a silence that's too clean, too sharp, too empty of a name to even exist. Is this a form of silent proof from JUNGKOOK to Taeil that he can still shine on his own? Is he setting a standard that his peers must meet? Or, on the contrary, is this a form of disappointment because you feel left in a silence that can no longer be explained by the word busyness? One thing's for sure, JUNGKOOK's live that night wasn't just another comeback moment. It was a statement stage. Emotional statements that are not expressed in words, but are felt from technicalities, expressions, and small choices that are too strategic to be considered coincidences. And the question hangs, did Taeil catch the message? Or more importantly, will he respond? It didn't take long after JUNGKOOK's live broadcast ended. Social media immediately turned into an arena for speculation. Hashtags such as hashtag Mic of the Year, hashtag JUNGKOOK Live, and, the most striking, hashtag Where is Taeil, topped the ranks of the world's trending topics in just a few hours. But what's more surprising than just trending is how quickly the ARMY is able to catch the little things that might otherwise go unnoticed by the layman. Comments such as, JUNGKOOK was too neat tonight, too quiet, too alone, began to pop up. And it's not just random comments. Behind perfectly set camera angles, lighting that's not too bright but also not too dim, and a room vibe that feels professional but still intimate, many felt that JUNGKOOK was putting together a small show for one person. As if not for millions of spectators, but for one absent figure. And in this context, too many feel it's Taehyung, especially if you look at how JUNGKOOK alludes to Justin Bieber's song Changes, which is not just about change, but about someone changing and starting to move away. The song talks about the imbalance of the relationship, about one party still trying, while the other party seems to give up. Sentence by sentence, the song seemed to reflect JUNGKOOK's heart, although he did not sing it directly. It just mentions, but that's enough. Because from JUNGKOOK's lips, every word has emotional weight. Then comes ARMY's heart-wrenching question, why wasn't Taehyung around when JUNGKOOK returned? Why do broadcasts that should be a moment of togetherness, especially after military experiences and reunion announcements, feel so individual? And more pointedly, why doesn't JUNGKOOK seem to want to share this moment with anyone? Not a few also reopened Taehyung and JUNGKOOK's previous broadcast recordings. In the show, there's a moment where JUNGKOOK had a little laugh, but then immediately fell silent when Taehyung said one sentence that reads, "You haven't changed, huh?" That simple sentence now feels like a puzzle piece that has been ignored. Is that sarcasm? Or an expression of disappointment? Now, after seeing JUNGKOOK's very different live atmosphere, the sentence came back to haunt him. What makes things even more complicated is Taehyung's silence after JUNGKOOK's live. Usually, even with just one emoji, one story repost, or a small comment, V always has a way of greeting or showing presence. But this time, nothing. Not a single one. Does that mean he's not watching? Unbelievable. Taehyung isn't the type who doesn't know when his group mates are live. He is known to be sensitive, known to always take his time, even in the busiest schedule. So when he really doesn't show up at all, not just on screen, but not even in comments or in Instastory reposts, many start to wonder, is he staying away? Some of the big fan sites who used to follow the activities of these two idols even uploaded image comparisons. One photo shows Taehyung and JUNGKOOK laughing during the 2022 concert rehearsals, while another shows JUNGKOOK's latest live cut with serious expressions and a sedentary face. The title? They used to laugh together. Now there is only silence. This issue then developed not only as fan gossip. Korean media began to cover it. Articles that usually only discuss visuals and recent projects are now starting to insert relationship analysis. One senior journalist from Dispatch even wrote in his article, if JUNGKOOK's live is a stage, then those who are not present are the main highlights. Even more emotional were the comments from fans who grew up with Taekook's closeness a nickname for Taehyung and JUNGKOOK. Many feel like they have lost their home. I used to be able to feel comfort just from watching them throw jokes at each other. But now, why does it feel like two different worlds? Wrote a fan on Weverse, another wrote in a sharper tone. JUNGKOOK's mic tonight shines brighter than Taehyung's? Not because the mic is expensive, but since there is no light, then it should be on the side. This sentence is viral. Very viral. To the point of becoming meme material, discussion material, even devotional material. Is it possible that JUNGKOOK deliberately highlighted his seriousness, his technical qualities, and his professionalism as a form of proof that he could shine on his own? And if so, to whom does he want to prove it? Some ARMY believed that JUNGKOOK was not satirizing the fans, not satirizing the media, but satirizing someone very close, who meant a lot, and that greatly disappointed him. Does this mean that there is a personal conflict between JUNGKOOK and Taehyung? Or maybe, this is not satire, but a form of silent calling? A plea for someone to come and answer, without having to say a name? Also interesting is JUNGKOOK's decision not to use effects, filters, or background music in his live this time around. All left plain, natural. It's like saying, it's me, no drama, no setting. If you want to come as you are. A message that may not only apply to Taehyung but also to anyone who has chosen to stay away. And when the live ended with the simple words, "Okay, here we go. Thank you for coming," the world seemed to freeze. Because behind that ordinary sentence, too much meaning hangs. Is this a temporary closure, or the beginning of a larger confrontation? While the world was still hotly debating the symbolism of JUNGKOOK's microphone, one figure emerged who was slowly becoming the new center of attention, Jimin. He was the only member with JUNGKOOK in the military. They lived the days of silence, harsh and limitation, yet together. But surprisingly, in the live broadcast of JUNGKOOK, Jimin's name was called only in passing. There is no nostalgia. There is no in-depth story. There was no statement like, Jimin and I used to do this in the military. Just a quick statement that this live is his first public appearance after the military. Why? Was this part of the overall theme of the live? That JUNGKOOK wanted to perform entirely on his own. However, a few hours after JUNGKOOK's broadcast ended, Jimin uploaded something that set all the speculation on fire again. In an Instagram story, she posted a photo of the night sky, dark, dotted with only one bright star, with the cryptic caption, "Sometimes, even the brightest feels alone." ARMY uproared at that a form of support for JUNGKOOK? Or insinuation because it is not called? Or rather, is it a form of expression of sadness at seeing JUNGKOOK choose the path of silence? Everything is now like a drama that only the players themselves know the content of the script. But it doesn't stop there. Shortly after Jimin's post, something really surprising came up. On Weverse, a fan asked, "Taehyung, did you see JUNGKOOK live just now?" The question is ordinary. But the incredible Taehyung replied. One short sentence. I see. Haven't seen him like that in a long time. This sentence exploded. Like fuel on a boiling fire. Everyone tries to interpret. Haven't seen him like that in a long time. Like what? What does Taehyung mean by JUNGKOOK's professional side? The cold side? Closed emotional side? Or is Taehyung talking about a change he didn't expect? Some army quickly dug deeper. Some have linked Taehyung's line to an old interview from 2022 when he once said, "JUNGKOOK is a very honest man when he talks, but very quiet when he gets hurt." Now it all feels connected. If it's true that JUNGKOOK's broadcast was a form of wounded silence, then Taehyung's comment wasn't just an acknowledgement that he was watching, but also an acknowledgement that he understood and yet do not know what to do. But there was one other moment that escaped many people until a Twitter fan named @Goldingst found and validated it. Why did the blue light behind JUNGKOOK when it was on actually bounce off the wall and form a silhouette shadow? And that silhouette resembles someone standing with their hands in their pockets, typical V style. The screenshot photo spread fast. Thousands of retweets, hundreds of thousands of likes. Fans began to speculate that the shadow was an artistic form, as ghosts of the past were always around JUNGKOOK, but there are also those who think further. Did JUNGKOOK himself set the lighting so that the shadow appears? If so, then this is no ordinary life. This is a theatrical stage. A monologue in which JUNGKOOK speaks to a person who is not present in the room, but his presence felt so real that I end this debate. Another unexpected name emerged, Justin Bieber. The song Changes that JUNGKOOK mentioned in his live is considered by many to be not just a random reference. Fans noticed that in Justin Bieber's latest album Swag, there is a collaboration song with Japanese artist Hoshino, which talks about distance and harmony. The song talks about two people who stay together technically, but their hearts are no longer united. I asked this how JUNGKOOK feels about BTS, or about someone in the group. It should be noted that JUNGKOOK has always shown interest in Bieber, both in terms of music and lifestyle. But this time it feels deeper, more personal. The song, Changes, is not just a musical choice. It is like a mirror, showing the inner upheaval that has been hidden. Perhaps JUNGKOOK felt that he had changed. Or maybe it was someone else who changed. And because of that, he felt alone. It's no wonder, then, that the choice of professional mics, minimalist lighting, and atmosphere of the studio felt like an emotional bunker, a place where he could finally express everything without the need to scream. Meanwhile, speculation about BTS 2026 continues to grow. How could they possibly go on a world tour, perform on a global stage, if the interaction between the members even feels stiff and full of silence? This comeback concept is not just about songs and